what is the biggest transformation you've seen someone in your work over the last few decades? You've seen incredible healings within a few days of people on stage you talked about in our interview. You've, probably don't even share a lot of these stories, but what's the one that stands out the most of a massive healing or just transformation from their past self that was hurting them into a new future self that you talk about so much?
God, Louis, there are so many. If you asked me that question like maybe a year or two ago, I probably could have picked from a handful. But, this last year, we have seen so many incredible outcomes, from blind people seeing to deaf people hearing to numerous people with stage 4 cancers going to remission, tumors disappearing on the spinal cord, on the breast and lungs and the brain. We have seen serious conditions, tumors in children disappear. I mean, it's been a crazy time. But I can tell you a quick story about a woman who is a nurse in London, and she had a stroke, and it was right under the optic nerve, and it caused blindness in the left lower quadrant in both eyes, like from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. She was clinically blind as a result of the stroke, and she lost her driver's license. She couldn't function as a nurse anymore. She couldn't type, compromised because she was diagnosed as legally blind. So her life changed dramatically, and so she went to all the doctors, and the prognosis is pretty straightforward. If you don't see many changes after 2 weeks, you're probably not going to see many changes after that point. And so a year went by. She was asking all her colleagues. I mean, I think if you want a good doctor, ask a nurse. Nurses know good doctors. And so she went to all the good doctors that she knew. Get used to it. It's probably going to degenerate over as you age. And one of the doctors said, "Hey, why don't you go to this Dispenza event? I'll go with you." So they came. So they did the course, the preliminary course, and they came prepared. And it didn't even occur to her that she wanted to heal her vision. She was more interested in just learning how to cope in her life, and she wanted to start a nonprofit, but she was curious.
Learning how to cope with the vision.
Blindness.
Yeah.
That's what she thought, that she would be a better person. So halfway through the event, it occurs to her, maybe I could heal this thing.
Wow.
And she's in a walking meditation, and she gets lit up and inspired. She goes into the next meditation in the late morning. She finishes the meditation, she lays down, and she has this crackling sound in her brain, and with this kind of temperature change. When she opens her eyes, she has complete recovery.
Wow.
Of her blindness. We have the medical scans to show that the before scan of her eyes is all black between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. The Monday after the event, on the Monday morning, there's not one black spot on the post-scan in either eye. So she had complete recovery, a complete change in